Good morning, dear friends and guests. Welcome on Green World in a Pod. I'm Tanya Gervasi, your host, and this episode is a foodie episode. My guest is Carmen Ordiz Perez, Spanish, as you will certainly find out as soon as she starts speaking. She's the founder of Red de Gastronomia, a blog and podcast and Instagram platform. And Carmen and I studied together at the University of Gastronomic Sciences, and we reconnected during lockdown this year, and it was really nice. I contacted her because I really wanted to focus an episode on Spanish cuisine and also the different regional foods in Spain and what people that are not Spanish perceive as Spanish food. The whole conversation turned out to be really inspiring, at least for me, because we just talked about passions and life and how to make a living. Not how to make a living, but the fact that it is possible to make a living out of your passion, which first, of course, you have to find. And we do talk about Spanish traditional food and a bit of history, but the main point of the whole conversation is not that. So I hope you will enjoy it, and I'll catch you later. Hello, Carmen, and welcome on my podcast. The podcast I started thanks to you.
Thanks to you?
Thanks to you.
Oh, no. Oh, I didn't understand what you... I thought that you were doing your intro. No. Thanks to you because you were interested, so I just help you a little bit.
Yeah, a little push. Just do it.
Yeah, just a little push.
So, for those who don't know you, you're Spanish and you have a fantastic blog. And I can say you're also an influencer, or food culture influencer. And I would like you to tell a bit about your journey.
First of all,
because I know half, but I don't know what's before the university or how
before unis. Does the life exist before unis?
Yeah.
So first of all, I think that they are going to know that I'm from Spain for my pronouns, and I ask for I'm so sorry for my English, but I'm in Spain now living, so for me it's so hard to not forget my pronunciation with the ha ha ha. But we are going to try that they understand me. And I have a life before the university. I used to live before the university. And we were talking before that. How did I know the university, or how did I finish at unis? And
so we're talking about the University of Gastronomic Sciences, which we both attended. But when I think I was in 1 year ahead when you started. Or
yeah.
Two. Yeah, 1 year ahead.
One year ahead. Yeah. And I was like, when I was like 12, my father was looking on internet. He's a doctor, and for me, it's the person that pushed me. No? As you say that I passed you with the podcast, my father pushed me with the gastronomy and this food passion. He's so passionate about food, about nutrition, about health. No? And I think it's that gastronomic science means everything. For him, it's like going to museum and learning about everything means gastronomy. Learning about medicine means gastronomy. Learning about nutrition means gastronomy, because we can change everything with not with our choices, but also with our kind of food, kind of, I don't know how to say it, kind of habits, food habits. You can change everything, no? So I was 12, and he was on a slow food Spain, and he read about the university, and he told me, you are going to study there. And I thought, oh, yeah. I was supposed to study enology because I'm having hyperosmia. Do you know what it means?
No.
It's like not a illness, but it's a thing that you have in your body, and you are able to smell more than other people. It also exists anosmia. That means that you don't have any sense of I don't know how to say it in English, olfato.
Of smell.
Of a smell, and I have the opposite. So for me, it was like, okay, I want to study enology, but I like this university. And one year after, we went to Switzerland, and my father was so clever, and he told me, "Do you want to go to the north of Italy? We want to see how it's the university and to meet a girl that was Veronica. Do you remember Veronica, the teacher of the stage that?"
Yes,
She was from
yes.
Veronica. So she was Spanish. She was speaking Spanish. So we went there and we talked about the university. She told me everything about the stage, the traveling, learning, and so on. And I fall in love. Also, my father was like saying, if I was in your age, I'm not going to study medicine. I want to study gastronomic science. And all my university, my father was like saying me, if you don't study, I'm going to matriculate at the university. I'm going to study there. So because he was so jealous. He loved it. And the next year, so when I was 15, we went another time to the university, and we met Carlin and Carlo Vetrini, and we fall in love with him. It was obviously that we were supposed to go there, and then I did the exam, the university exam for entry, and it was okay. That for me was fantastic because I thought that I was 17, because in Spain you finish the university with 18, 19, 18, and I was 17 because I was born on December, so I start before the school, no? And my father was saying, well, maybe this year you don't have luck, and don't worry, and I was lucky. I was super lucky, and when I entered the university, all my friends from my class or my colleagues were like 19, 20. So the first day, one of my best friends now told me, so who is your brother? And I was like, what, my brother? And they thought that I was in the university the first day because I was like with someone that was going to study there, not because I was a student. So it was so funny because I was like, no, I'm the student. Ah, no, you look so like, how old are you? And I was like 17. So it was so funny because most of the first year I was drinking without permission because I was 17. In Spain, you are not supposed to drink with 17. So, for example, drinking wine at the university, I was not how to say legal.
Well, but let's say that you were not supposed to drink wine. You were supposed to taste it. Never mind, we had things at like 10 a.m. enology class. It's like,
It was so funny. One day, one of my friends from Spain came to the university, and I told the teacher of analysis sensorial, that sensory analysis, like Luisa Torre, that if it's possible that my friend comes, and she was there looking at us, and she started. When we finished the class, she told me, Carmen, I'm so preoccupied about you. I thought, why, Clara? Are you okay? And she told me, I think that you are going to finish like having a problem with an alcohol problem. And I told him, no, don't worry. We just taste, and then we don't drink all the glass. She was thinking that we were drinking 5 glasses of cognac like at 9 in the morning. And
Yeah.
I told her, no, we throw it. And she said, oh, God, yes, thank you, God, because he was thinking that I was going to finish at the street, like living without anything, just drinking like not expensive wine.
Well, but I have to say that during the years of university, I did drink so much, especially when we were going on stage. And I remember the
Yeah.
stage in Bordeaux and the
Mm.
stage in north of Portugal. I don't know, like we literally had a 2 hour tasting of Porto wines
I did it also. I did it that stage
at like
also.
9 a.m. I was like,
It's
well,
easy.
we're
I'm from
starting very well
I'm
today.
from the north of Spain. You know that I'm from Asturias. That if
Mhm.
someone wants to travel there, is one of the best places in the world. That it's amazing. But we are so. My father is also saying that we so friends of the alcohol. In Asturias, you drink when you are happy. You drink when you are not that happy. It's like that I don't remember who did the quote. That I think that it was. I'm going to find it. Churchill that was saying that I drink champagne twice when I win and when I not. You know that sentence.
No, I
They
don't.
say that it was Churchill. They don't know if it was from Napoleon or from Churchill, but it's like I drink champagne. I'm going to find it. Like 1 minute. Uh,
So
uh,
when
uh.
you were in university, were you starting, um, did you know or had an idea of what you were going to do after?
I love to talk. So I was sure that I was doing something about communication or something like that. But I was not that sure that I was going to live in Spain. For me, that was one of the best things. I was not that convinced that I was going to be able to come again to my home.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm working from my city, or sorry, from a small place in the north of Spain. And for me, that was impossible to think that it was going to be. I even if I dream it, for me that was impossible. And now I think that the point is that I start doing communication and everything fluid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you are able in something, for example, I'm super, super, super bad on finance, on maths, on everything that it's like so numeric. I'm not that good. I prefer like speaking, or sorry, talking, conversations, like thinking. I'm creative. So crazy world. And when I start doing the things that I love the most, my life changed in. I mean, I don't know how to say it to not sound like a mystic, like a witch. But when we have a purpose in our life, I think that everybody is good at one thing or two things or three things. I think that I'm good on conversation, on communication.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start doing communication, all the things went like a river, like fluid alone. I just need to do what I think that it's okay. And I start doing things like now they used to ask me at the school where I was studying, like, how did you plan to go to be head of gastronomy and to do that? And I didn't plan anything. I started doing it. I love it. It's my passion. So I think that for me it's so easy working 14 hours. Or, for example, this night I wake up at 3 a.m. because I was not. I don't know why. For me, it was difficult to sleep. No,
Mm-hmm.
so I wake up, I get up, and I start writing. And when it was like 4, I was like, what are you doing? But for me, it's like if one person is, how to say, passionate of the computer and they start playing at 3 a.m. So that's the point. I start doing the thing that I love the most. I'm always saying that when I was at the high school, I was not that good. I was normal, a normal student. And then when I started university, I start developing my mind, and I start understanding where I'm good on, because that's difficult when you don't find your purpose in the life. It's difficult to concentrate your energy. But when you know, okay, that's the place where I'm good, that's the point that I have to develop, that's the thing that I have to work on it, that's the point. And I think that everybody is good on something. When somebody says, no, I'm not good on anything, I don't find my dreamy work, I hate working, and say, I don't like that kind of life. I mean, if you wake up at 6 a.m. doing a work that you don't like, 14 years of your life,
Yeah.
and then what? When you are 16, you're going to finish like, okay, I spent all my life in something that I don't like. And it sounds like, okay, you say this because you have the dreamy work and blah, blah, blah. But no, I think that we have to find it, and then everything is going to flow. And it's not like, because too many people think that, okay, you don't have any problem, so it's so easy to find. Blah, blah. But I saw too many people that in another kind of works, they start doing the things that, for example, imagine that you are a mechanist. It's in English, it's mechanist, mecánico.
Mechanic.
Yeah, and you are good on peer. You like the post. Talking with the client and doing another clients and so on. And imagine that it's your familiar business, and your father doesn't understand that you don't want to how to say it. I don't know how to say it in English. Reparar. Espera.
Fix.
Excusa?
Fix. You don't want to fix?
Yeah, to repair, to fix cars, but you want to start doing like post selling, or I don't know how to say it, like working with the people.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if you start doing that, you are going to start having more clients. You are going to work happier. You are going to work at least happy. That's the point, because you are going to spend too many hours doing whatever. So I think that that's the point, to find what are good on it and doing it in your work. You can be a good communication expert selling coffees. I think that also we have to think that a slow life. That's the point. That too many times that we work just for money, and then we don't have time to spend that money. So we have to think that the best thing that you can do is to be on your hobby, learning money. And it sounds like it's impossible, but that's not impossible. For example, my brother is a lawyer. He hates everything about being a lawyer, because one part of my family, they are lawyers. So he was like not obligated, but pushed to do that university. And he loves cars. He loves. If he was free to choice, I think that he was his dreamy work. I think that it's like be a mechanist or something like that. So when he finished and he started doing like working as a lawyer, I told him, why don't you find a master about cars, something about cars? And now he's lawyer of car incidents.
Yeah.
Like when people have car accidents. So that's the point. And now he's happy.
I have a friend who actually he is a lawyer, but he spent before, like during studying years and stuff, he was working as a constructor and in construction sites. And in the end, he was like, I know so much about that I can be a lawyer, and I really love
houses and building houses, I can actually apply all my expertise to that as a lawyer. And in fact, he is specialized in something that is almost a niche. So yeah, I believe it's
For
possible.
me, that's so important. When I'm going to the school where I was studying, just because I study something that it's different, no? Here in Spain, it's not that used that people study gastronomic science. When I started studying gastronomic science, that was so funny. One of my father friends, one of my parents' friends, told to my father, "But what's that? NASA or something like that? She's going to study about the moon." And my father,
I
"What do
know.
you say? What are you talking about?" And he was thinking that I was going to study astronomic science,
Yeah, I know. I
but
always
in
have
Spanish,
have
sounds so similar.
gastronomic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were thinking that I was going to work on the NASA and going to the moon. But
So
I don't remember what I was talking about the university, but I
yeah,
think
but
that
then
unis
you went
change your life.
into communication and you founded your blog and it just exploded.
So it was like I went to Spain and I was like, do you remember Colombo when he went to Spain to ask for money to Isabel la Católica? It was like this. I went to Spain because I was trying to ask for money for my father to go around the world traveling 1 year, no? And when I was there, one of my best friends uh, told me, Carmen, there is a master that it's going to start in a few months, and it's about social media. And I was like, social media? What are you talking about? A master about Instagram, a master about Facebook? Anyone is going to be like thinking that that's serious? And he told me, Carmen, that's an official master. Things are going to change a lot, and I think that all the media are going to be on the social media, all the newspaper are going to work on it. And I just say, okay, I like that. I love, because I was like one of the first person around me that was having Instagram. I started on Instagram, but on a like not on a serious way, just because I was playing with that. With excuse me, when I was at the university, at the first year of the university, I was having Instagram, but it was like we were on too many, too little. It was like a very little ay Dios, I'm not able to speak in English anymore. Like there was no anyone on Instagram. Everybody was on Facebook, no? And and when I started the master, I was thinking it's impossible that this is going to be serious in the future. That for
Mhm.
example, the most important newspaper in Spain are going to work with social media managers. For me, was like impossible. And when I was at the master, one of my teachers asked us about doing something, a project, where we work at the master, all the things that we learn, we have to put it on that project. That was opening Pinterest, opening
Mhm.
Facebook, opening everything, all the socials, all the medias. And I opened something with my name, Carmen Ordiz. And one day I was at the car and I was like playing with the letters, Spanish letters, like A from apple, C from car. And I said, G de gastronomía. And a light, when the comics, that a light in my head. I said, oh my God, G de gastronomía. In Spanish sounds so good. And also with the CEO, the, you know, was perfect, because if you find like blog de gastronomía or blog de gastronomía in Spanish, the SEO was like natural SEO,
Mhm.
like organic SEO. That's the way somebody, if wants a blog
Yeah.
of gastronomy, is going to find, no, to search. And I started working on it at the master, and we were like my friends and my family. And I don't know how one of my friends told to another friend from Madrid, another friend from Madrid, another friend from Barcelona. I'm like a little bit clown, so they say that I'm funny on the Instagram, for example. So too many people was telling me, for me, you are like big brother. I'm like, but a big brother with food culture, because you are talking about your life, talking about your day, and I'm learning with you. So I was thinking, it's impossible that someone or somebody is learning with me because I'm talking about nothing. So I said, okay, we're going to start doing things more serious. And I was doing plannings, talking about like items or issues that were on trend, and I start like having a big community of friends, because for me, people that it's follow me, they are like friends. There are people that are follow me from 2014. So every day we talk. They ask me, "Oh, where can I go when I go to Paris?" So, so for me, it's funny because I have a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday I was in Canary. I'm in Canary Islands, and I met one of the person that follow me in the Instagram. He wrote me and he said me, "Oh, Carmen," because he's a wine lover, and he's always looking at my blog for wine, for food, and he wrote me, "I'm with my family in Fuerteventura. If you want to take a wine together, we can, and for me, that's super. That's amazing that people that you don't know, they are like friends, or they're friends, actually. And that's the point how I start Gastronomia. It was like, I don't know.
Do you, but you focus on Spanish food, or it's international? It doesn't matter.
I don't have a focus. I mean, I prefer Spanish food because I'm living in Spain, and for me it's easier to talk about the Spanish food, no? But when I'm traveling, I'm talking and I'm trying to learn about that place, and then I'm trying to translate to an easy way.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my friends, they are so critic with my work, no? And for me that's perfect, because if you are always listening, "Oh, you're fantastic, I love your blog," and blah, 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 you don't how to say it, you don't mejorar,
No.
improve. You
Yeah.
don't improve, no? So my friends are always saying, "No, you have to do this or this or this or this or this," no? And the point is that when I'm going, for example, to another place, I try to write on an easy way. My friends were at first time, they were saying, "No, you have to write more easy because you use so many technicisms." And I think that the point was there when I start talking as I talk to my friends. Every week, I'm having a dinner with my friends that I have, my friends since we were like 4 years old. That for me was is one of the best things that I have in my life. That's so important. I have a good work, but the best thing in my life is family and friends. For me, that's the thing that I'm more proud. And and I'm always opening one wine or having something different, and I'm telling them, "This is from this producer. They are doing like this and that," but in a very, very, very easy way. So I'm doing the same on social media, like talking to my friends. And that's the point. In Spain, there are too many blogs from gastronomy or science about food culture, food history. But the point is that I'm talking without any, I don't know how to say this without being unpolite. Uh, an easy way. O sea,
Mm-hmm.
just say that I'm doing it like if I'm in a bar and I'm talking to my friends, how the wine is made or how is that wine producer. So that's the point. I think the secret was that it's easy for the people learning with, and also in a funny way, because I'm having, like a communication tone that it's so familiar. It's not that serious. It's serious items, it's serious things, but in a funny way. And that's also the sense of humor is one of the most important things in life. You can tell everything with a smile,
Yeah,
and you know.
that's incredible. So what is Spanish food? What is Spanish food culture? And do you think what non-Spaniards think of Spanish food is the same as what it actually is?
The point is that Spain, as we think that it's Spain, is not. For example, when you go to Italy, you
Yeah.
discover another Italy, no? When you are in Spain and you know that Spain was a mix of culture and is a mix of cultures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Muslim, it was Catholic, it was Jewish. So in each part of Spain, we have very different food culture because of, for example, the war was not the same in the north and in the south. Islands are so different from another part. I mean, Africa right now. So Canary Island, it's more similar weather to Africa than the Iberic Peninsula. So the thing is that, for example, in Asturias, my place, was the only part in the north that Muslims doesn't arrive, no, with the conquest. So the gastronomy is so different. We don't have that influence from Muslim culture, and it's so different from the south, as Andalusia, for example. And Spain is so big. You know that Spain is like 3 times Italy, even if we don't have too many inhabitants in front of Italy. It's super big, and we have Portugal inside. Or no, I don't want to say that because Portuguese are going to kill me. But Peninsula Iberica is Spain and Portugal. That sounds better. All the things that you can find in the north, it's impossible to find in the south, and so on. So Spain, it's a mix of places with very different products, but with I think the most important thing is the history, the influence that we used to have, and change everything. And it's so easy to see that in Spain because of the thing that I was telling you before, that in the north, when the Muslim emperor doesn't arrive, you can see that for example, the dishes are I don't know how to say it, like oily meat, fish, not like fish with salt because we have the seaside, so we don't need to conservate. We used to eat like fresh meat, fish or fresh meat. But if you go to the medium part of Spain, like for example Castilla y León, Madrid, they used to age the meat, to dry them. That's the point, that it's not that easy. You don't have to study gastronomic science to be able to understand that or to study about that. If you go to a museum and you watch the pictures of the paints, you are able to understand if that country was having a war, if that country was rich. If you are looking at everything with the food glasses, I'm always saying the food glasses, you can understand the history of a place. Also with the traditional dishes. For example, I'm from Asturias, and in Asturias, the traditional plate is the fabada. Fabada, it's like la feijoada in
Ah,
Portugal. It's
yeah.
like beans with chorizo, morcilla,
Mm-hmm.
like Iberic, but in my place there is not Iberic pig. It's another kind of pig, another genetic,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to eat it because in my place in winter is so hot, so cold. If you eat a fabada in Marbella, August, it's probably that you are going to finish at the hospital. So you have to understand that if the traditional dish in Asturias is the fabada, it's so easy that there is a place that it's a cold place, because it was a place that, for example, my grandpa used to eat before going work on the country. Now that we work in an office, if you don't eat fabada, I think that maybe it's better that you stop and make a siesta before going to the office, because you are going to fall asleep in front of the computer. Also, food habits change a lot. I'm always arguing about this, that I think that food culture, because of the globalization, is going to change all around the world. These last 15 years are going to change everything. I'm always saying that I want to, just one day in my life, not all my life, but just one day, I want to wake up and be in at 2000, I don't know, 15, no, yeah, 15, 2015, and to look back to how, you understand what I mean? To look at the past and say, wow, what? So maybe tataki is going to be the traditional dish from the north of Spain. Anyone knows? Because, for example, cachopo, that is one of the most popular dishes from my place, 15 years ago was not that famous. And a cachopo is just a cotoleta or a cordon bleu, something like that. So that's so interesting that globalization is changing everything. Now in every place in the world you can find tapas, or you can find pinchos. The concept, because
What
too
is
many
the
times.
story of tapas? Why do you have, because tapas in the end it's like what in Italy can be the little aperitivo snacks or something like that, or no?
For us, it's not. Pinchos and tapas are different. Tapa means the how to say it in English, the thing that we use to close, for example, a jar, a mason jar, for example.
Uh,
La tapa.
oh, okay. Oh my God.
I'm going to find
Not
it.
the Tupperware. It's the
The top,
the
the
top.
the
Well, the
cover.
top of the tin or whatever of the jar.
Yeah,
Ah,
the lid.
it's from
No,
there.
no, the top of the
Yeah.
jar. The history about the tapas was that they were putting on a glass on the wine, for example, in the top, and they were putting some bread to do not let enter anything in the wine. That was the point. In the canteen, they were like, they given to you the wine and then some bread on the top. That's one of the histories about tapas. But
Wait.
the point is
So
that
you have the bottle and it doesn't have the cork and you put the bread?
no. They were doing it on the glass of wine. They
Ah,
say that
okay, got it. Oh, yeah.
because it was like Alfonso X, one of the kings of the history of Spain,
Mm-hmm.
that they were he was saying that we were supposed to be in the bar with the wine and some bread, so covering the bread, just because to eat something with the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also a history that means that to tapar, to cover the stomach, to be full of something, to do not get drunk so fast. Tapar, cover. You understand? And that's the point. It's that they give you something with your with the wine or with the juice or with a cider, and they give you something to eat. But it's not like the aperitivo, because the aperitivo is like a buffet. Here in Spain, the tapas is like in one place they are so good on doing tortilla. In another place they are good doing paella. So they give you a tapa of something that they are
Makes sense.
good at doing it. And Pintxo means Pintxo. It's like I don't remember any term in English. Pintxo is like broad, like a brochette in Spanish.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Like bruschetta.
Sí,
Yeah.
the same.
Bruschetta.
But not the bruschetta. The thing that you used to do the bruschetta. What's the name of that? Like a skewer or something like that, no?
Skewer
Spike.
is the thing you open the one. Wow, this is amazing. A conversation of two foreigners speaking English.
Yeah. A spike, I think that. El palillo. The piece of wood that you use to
cut the wood board.
not to cut. It's like a joder. Es prot,
No.
maybe.
Well, maybe whoever is listening understands. I'm gonna check it.
Pintxo is the thing that you use to put together two things with the bread, for example.
Okay.
El palo, the good thing, the wood thing. I don't know how to say it. Neither in Spanish, in Italian.
No, I'm not sure.
Spiedini.
The wooden stick.
Echo. That
was much easier than.
Sí. We are, oh Dios. So, Pintxo means that in Spanish, el Pintxo.
Okay.
El Spiedino. So, el Pintxo, it has this noun because of it's there are in Basque Country, for example, too many pinchos en la barra del bar, and you can choose what do you want, and you throw it, and they count all the espiedines that you have, all the wooden stuff that you consume, and if you have 10 pinchos, it means that you ate 10 things, and they can tell you, okay, it's 10 euros, or it's, you understand what I mean, no?
Yeah.
But in that place, you have too many choices, not as tapas that it's the, now there are too many places where you can find like 15 tapas, but first you were supposed to eat the most popular tapas in that place. And pinchos were more choices, you have more choices. But now tapas and pinchos is like global,
globalized.
Sí.
We have full restaurants of tapas here in London.
Sí. All around the world. Also Spanish people living, for example, in United States, like they are opening like tapas and pinchos places. For me, that's perfect. It means that people are understanding gastronomic from Spain. They are looking at our tradition. It's okay, even if they change it and they do it on a American way. It's okay. Like for example, Italian food in Spain, that it's so different from Italian from origin. But for me, it's perfect also.
What do you think of, so you were saying that the food culture will change in the next 50 years, because I mean, it has always changed. But I'm wondering, things such as that are considered Spanish, like paella, pulpo a la catalana, pimiento de padrón, which is funny because as foreigners, you place those dishes as Spanish, but they do have, how can I say, they do have their own region, I believe.
See, for example,
they are seen as Spanish as a whole. And I wonder if maybe those will stay. Like they're so exported as symbols of Spanish cuisine that
they are going to. You told about the paella, pulpo a la gallega, or I think that, for example, paella is one of the most popular thing in the world. Even if, for example, in my place, anyone is doing paella. It's not in the north of Spain. It's so rare that people. It's not traditional dish, but it's like saying vitello tonato in the south of Italy.
Yeah.
That anyone is doing vitello tonato in the south. The same. I think that there are too many dishes that they are going to stay because of they are part of the history, and that's not going to change that fast. But I think that the point is that we are changing the products that we use to cook. And I think that's a problem on that because of the biodiversity. For example, here in Spain, we are big producers of red tuna. And okay, it's not that bad that Japanese food is popular in Spain because we have the product. But if you are in the imagine Germany and you want too many quantity of tuna and you have to import and you need to do too many kilometers with an aeroplane and you need to don't use your traditional fish because people is asking about tuna and that it's not your traditional fish and all the people that it's living from the fishing activity is not going to work because you are importing our red tuna. That's the point, that we have to understand that our choices change everything. So if you like, for example, Kobe meat, last month I ate it, but I was thinking on, okay, fantastic, this is marvelous one time in a year, but my meat, the best meat that I can find is the one that I am having in 20 kilometers around my place. So I have to understand that that meat producer was working on my meat, it's from my place, the economic impact is going to be on my place. So we have to be conscious. Then you can choose, then you can say, okay, I prefer red tuna than sardines. Okay, fantastic. But you have to understand that your choice is so important for everything. The economy of your place, the geography, the biodiversity, and all the things. All the things are linked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being clear because
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm having my Spanish on and my English off.
I understand because many times I think about the change that is going to happen, but also I question traditions or what we call being traditional dishes. And
Excuse me, sorry.
And many times there are nations that are very attached to their own products, like, oh, but we have always eaten this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, but perhaps today you cannot. Like, you have to change for sustainability reasons, for example.
Sí, sí.
A traditional dish, it's not sustainable anymore. And traditions change over years.
We have to understand that all the traditional dishes start because of a necessity or because of something. For example, we are always eating grapes in Spain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The last day of the year, we eat grapes. And that starts because of one of the wine producers was having too many grapes on a Christmas time. So he starts giving grapes to it because they were like having too much production. And okay, now it's a tradition. That year was not, was an innovation. So we have to understand, first of all, that tradition starts with some innovation and that traditional dishes actually starts because of a necessity or because of I don't know how to say it, because you have that product,
Yeah.
and maybe because of the weather is changing, because of the water is changing every place, you are not more able to have that kind of beans or that kind of rice or that kind of meat. That's the point. And we have to understand that everything is changing. I think now faster than ever because of the social media. I think that it's changing everything. We are always doing photos of our food. And on Instagram, you are able to watch or to see how they eat in the other point of the planet. And before was not possible. You were just learning about food of another places if you travel or if you look at pictures. But 20 years ago, there was not that quantity of food pictures in any place as now. We are taking more pictures in 1 minute that all the picture of food that were made on 90s,
Mm-hmm.
the hashtag foodie. So that's the point, that we are changing so fast because of you want to eat the same that people is eating in China. We want to eat the same that one girl in New York is eating. So cocktail culture, food culture, o sea, everything you want to taste the wine that is from Australia because you saw it in a Netflix series,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to eat this Manolo bakery because of Sex and New York, or sorry, I don't, Sex and the City. So that's the point, that we have all this information and we want everything in all the parts of the country, of the planet.
What
So
the I have a one last question, because so you're a gastronome and I am a gastronome, and
we
I'm
are.
wondering what do you think is the role and the importance of a gastronome um, in this change, or
Okay, very good
even
question.
without the
Very,
change, but in the present? What is
very good
the
question. Every time that someone is telling me that I'm an influencer, I'm like, oh my god! For me, it's so big, that word, influencer. Right? For me, it sounds like no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not influencer. But like 1 year ago, I was on the street and I was thinking, maybe yes, not an influencer, but I can do something because I have too many people that it's listening to me, that it's watching on my stories and reading about food on my place, on my blog. So I think that we have something to do, and I have something to do. That it's like young people need to be able to understand that now it's fantastic. We have everything. We are able to have all this food from all around the world, but we have one important thing, that it's to help the planet to survive. And eating, it's one of the most important choices that you can do in your life because of all this food industry. It's one of the most contaminants around the world. You know that, textile and food.
exactly?
So for me, being a gastronom, it's the, I think that the obligation to make people, or try that people understand that with that kind of choices, you can change your time in the planet, because I think that we are here for a very small time in all the time that the planet is going to be, and we have to be the I don't know how to say it in English, but in Spanish it's like this, like deja la menor huella posible, no? That means that try to do not,
To damage
mm,
the least possible, or something like
yeah,
this. Yeah.
in Spanish sounds more poetic,
Yes.
but it's like yeah, we got damage. It's like, it sounds like no, but it means like, okay, enjoy your past in the planet and enjoy your time. But like when you go to some of your friends' houses, to have 1 or 2 days on vacation, and then you clean everything, and you are doing all the things to look like you weren't there, no? The
Mm-hmm.
same with the planet. Enjoy, try, taste everything, taste all the products of all around the world, but being conscious that all that choices are important. The point is to know, because then you are able to understand if you are doing okay or not. It's like babies and children when you say, do whatever you want. Okay, but when you understand that, that means that, okay, I have to do this because it's the good choice and this is the bad choice, it's perfect. You are able to be a bad boy and to do bad choices, but in your conscious, o sea, if in your mind you know that you are not doing well, no? You
Yeah.
can go to McDonald's. I don't mean that you have to be like, no, I hate, blah, blah, blah. But when you go, you understand that that's not. Joder, me estoy metiendo en un berenjenal. You can corta esto, sí, porque, o sea, I don't know how to say it. The point that I want to
Don't
say
beat
that,
don't basically I think don't beat yourself up, or be conscious of what you choose, whether it's
yeah,
good or bad,
that's
or
that's
bad, let's say, but who you
echo. If you are
support.
in an airport and you don't have any other place to go because the only place that it's open is Burger King, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you can go, but you have to know that that meat is not from a small producer, it's not doing on a buono pulito giusto, like Carlo Petrini used to say.
Good,
And
clean.
we have also another point that it's so important as a gastronome is to do not be close about food industry. We have to be open-minded. Food industry
Mm.
needs to exist. So let's try to do like a consultant and to help them to be more conscious, more clean, more green. Because I think that like before it was a war between gastronomes or slow fooders and food
Yeah,
industry, no?
yeah.
And no, the point is to try to be together. And that's one thing that I look on Carlo these years ago. And for me, it's perfect because they are trying to help food industry to improve. That's the point. This is not a war. This is we have to be together because the planet is our planet. It's not countries. It's not a war between countries. It's an union between us to be helping the planet. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I
Sí,
do
sí.
agree. I think I went from when I was in university, especially, I did go all the I was like a slow food Nazi, basically, and only what is good, clean, and fair, and only local things, producers, and things like that. And I think I went through different phases where now I'm just like, perhaps it's also a matter of lack of communication,
Yeah.
and also industries. I I genuinely, and maybe it's a naive thought, but I do believe that nobody wants to um, kill the planet or, pollute it. I do believe that there is um, either miscommunication or they don't know how to do it purely, like in another way, um, and earn money at the same time, which I
Yeah.
also think it is an issue, because on the other hand, there are small producers who are like, well, but I don't know how to be a good producer and earn money. And then on the other hand, you have the big producers who make a lot of money, but they don't know how to be sustainable in a way, and and have the same
Sí, 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 sí,
profit.
sí.
So
That's the
I'm
point.
thinking, well, but if there were bridges, and in that way, I do find that the gastronome has can have the role of a bridge
I love the way you say that. A bridge. That's the point. Being a bridge and trying to be together, all together, and to find that to make people, because too many people, it's not, they don't have the time. We need to understand that in a naive world, every time you have everybody have time to go over there, but now people go to the supermarket. The point is that the perfect thing is that the supermarket has small producers products
Exactly.
in its supermarket. If you are in the south of Spain, produce from the south of Spain, and all these things. And
I do believe it's possible. I think sometimes, again, they either don't think of it, they either imagine it's a hard thing logistically. Maybe they don't want to. Like they really think it's a, I don't know, waste of time, energy, and things like that. But I'm like, but it's doable. Like it's doable to have,
it's possible
for
to
example,
go
in
to the
every
supermarket.
supermarket, a corner with produce from local producers. I think it should be like, I would find it amazing. So yeah, I hope, and I'm positive that it can happen.
I'm working with some clients doing that, trying to help big enterprises to be more sustainable. You know that I'm working with a supermarket in Spain, Más y Más, and we are working on that. We are working on, because they don't want to the point that we were saying before, that they don't want to destroy the planet. They are not, they want to change.
Yeah.
So the point is to try making people easier to find these good products in the supermarket, and being also fair with the producers. And
Exactly.
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. They are trying, and too many food industry brands are trying to change. Maybe some of them is greenwashing. Do you know this
Yeah,
term?
I know.
That it's like
I'm
too
very
many of
on
them.
it with
Yeah,
fashion.
the same. Like, for example, there are big ropes, also a Spanish group that it's always doing like this second life of the t-shirts and the trousers. It's like, no way. I know that you are not doing this because of you are so conscious. It's just greenwashing. But I'm always thinking that everybody is everybody is a good person. Everybody has a good how to say, joder, perdón, Tania. Everybody has a good purpose, an intention, and I think the point is that we have, as gastronomes, help them to change and to try to find like an equilibrium.
Yeah.
That's the point, equilibrium. Because I was also one part of my life like a slow food, not Nazi, but something like that. That I was only thinking that everything is going, it needs to be perfect. Not, no, and it's impossible. It's not that it's impossible the way I was thinking that slow food was. And now we have to understand that big productions are not the enemies of there are small producers that are worse than big productions.
Yeah.
The point that it's small doesn't mean that it's good. So
and
that's
vice
the
versa.
point. And to understand that. And for me, the purpose for being a gastronom is that trying to be to communicate on an easy way all the things that I learn, and to try to jope, es que estoy como ida, to share them, to trying to share the things that I'm learning and to translate it on a popular mood, on a popular way.
Exactly.
Ay, Tania, te voy a dejar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Thanks again to Carmen, who took time off her vacation, well-deserved vacation, to be part of this. And I hope you take home something with you. I hope this inspired you as much as it did inspire me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and rate this podcast. You can leave me a review, and I'll see you next week.